Have we reached the end of meaningful CPU advancements, or is something more sinister at play? Let's talk. Take a look at this chart from Passmark. It tells a story of progress, stagnation, and decline in over the last 2 decades. From 2004 to around 2016, we saw steady, predictable growth in both desktop and laptop CPU performance. But then, something changed. Desktop CPUs, represented by the blue lines, took off like a rocket, with performance gains that would make Gordon E. more proud, but it is stagnating now. Meanwhile, laptop CPUs, the red lines, climbed at a much slower rate, and more recently they've started to decline a bit. The new Ryzen 9950X3D is making waves with its great performance, massive cache, and power efficiency. But if you look at the broader CPU landscape, something strange is happening. Performance gains are shrinking, and somehow a flagship chip from 5 years ago can still hold its own. Is this just the natural end of Moore's Law, or is something more intentional at play? So what happened? Why overall processor performance is stagnating? Is it true that the industry is making processors slower on purpose? Intel and AMD have a new trick. Instead of making CPUs better, they've decided to make you care about different things. Battery life, integrated graphics, and AI-enhanced features, all these are wonderful distractions from the fact that single-core performance has not been improving much. When it comes to laptop CPUs, manufacturers are deliberately lowering power limits to save a few cents on cooling solutions. Modern laptops are obsessed with being thin, cool, and power efficient. So much so that the moment you dare to multitask a bit heavily, they start rationing performance to keep things cool. Flagship CPUs used to deliver massive generational jumps, but now you're lucky to see a 5% boost. Intel's i9-14900K barely outperforms the i9-13900K, and Intel's 11th gen chips were outright slower than their predecessors. Meanwhile, prices keep climbing, with high-end models now reaching $699. Instead of focusing on raw speed, manufacturers are prioritizing power efficiency, AI acceleration, and more cores. These features don't always translate to better real-world performance for many users. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, that is AI. The newest CPUs aren't focused on general computing performance anymore. Instead, they come embedded with dedicated AI processing units that sound impressive, until you realize they don't help with 90% of what you actually do. Unless you are running AI models locally or using automation features in image editors, NPU is just eating up valuable space that could have gone toward actual performance. Microsoft also has a role in this. Windows 11 is supposedly optimized for AI, which mostly means your CPU is busy dealing with background AI processes while your actual workloads see little to no improvement. Traditional performance gains will remain stagnant as your laptop focuses more on AI features you never asked for. Whether it's Copilot suggesting code that barely compiles in VS Code or AI-assisted bloat slowing down your system, Microsoft is steering computing priorities more towards AI than real-world efficiency. Silicon isn't getting any better at defying physics, and we're hitting the hard limits of transistor miniaturization. Shrinking nodes used to bring massive efficiency and performance gains, but now at 3 nanometer and beyond, power leakage, heat density, and manufacturing complexity are making those improvements smaller and more expensive. Despite these roadblocks, silicon-based CPUs are still the best we've got and will likely remain dominant until the 2040s, unless some breakthrough material swoops in to save the day. If this trend continues, traditional CPU advancements might be over. Instead of meaningful improvements, we'll get marketing-driven enhancements that exist purely to keep sales moving. The industry can certainly do better, but as long as they can sell less for more, why would they? Well, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in our next videos.